Hey, this is a team win, okay? And I am so proud of this team. You talk about, it was 1 year ago we played in this place, and the fight and the resolve was different.
You know, the Miami Dolphins coming into week 2, personally, in my eyes, had one of the most, if not the most, lethal offenses in, the entirety of the NFL. Now, on Sunday night, the Patriots did whatever they could to stop them, or at least try to stop them, but it still wasn't enough, which tells me one thing overall about the Miami Dolphins. They might be better than we actually thought. Now, the Dolphins, led by their very talented quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, showcased his precision, his overall determination, and, just showed off his work ethic he's been grinding throughout the entirety of the offseason, and it showed versus the New England Patriots, who have a very, very good defense, led by Bill Belichick. Now, Tua's also showcased some poise in the pocket, his great accuracy, and those are on full display once again as the offense made critical plays when it mattered the most. Now, the Dolphins are starting the season 2-0, and this was a testament to their, preparation, their chemistry, and overall commitment to improving this offseason. And this just set the stage for what seems to be a promising and exciting season ahead. Now, in this video, I'll be breaking down why the Dolphins are exactly what the NFL was scared of, but more importantly, why the Dolphins are legitimate contenders this season. Now, before we jump into Sunday night's game, let's take a look at some of these incredible numbers that this team has put up just over the first few days of the season. Offensively, the Dolphins have been nothing short of, terrifying. Ranking number 3 in points per game, number 1 in yards per game, number 1 in fourth down conversion percentage, and number 2 in touchdowns per game. I mean, absolutely incredible offensive performances from the Dolphins. I know it's just 2 games, but they have been spectacular. Now, Tua and this offensive line have also been lights out, ranking number 4 in terms of sacks allowed per game, and that is just something you want to see in terms of keeping Tua healthy. That is their main priority, and that's exactly what they've done throughout the first 2 weeks of the season. And if they can continue to keep him healthy, the sky is truly the limit for this team. And now, during Sunday night's game versus the Patriots, the Miami Dolphins defeated them 24-17, and the Dolphins jumped to a 2-0 start to this year, and the Dolphins dropped to 0-2. Now, Tua of the Miami Dolphins has now won 9 consecutive starts against former Super Bowl winning head coaches, and that ties Jim Harbaugh, Russell Wilson, for the longest streak ever by a quarterback. Just 1 week after Tua throwing for over 450 yards, this week he was on it once again. But he went 21 of 30 for 249 yards and also passed for a touchdown, but also did have 1 interception as well. But Tua had an elite 93.0 passing grade last week according to PFF, and should finish with another solid score for week 2. Now, we all have to admit the New England defense is very good, but with Tua playing like that against that defense, I can only imagine what they're going to do to, non-top 5 defenses in the NFL. I think they're going to absolutely electrify the entirety of the NFL. And, even their playmakers were amazing. Raheem Mostert led the charge with a remarkable 18 carries, 121 yards, and found the end zone twice, showcasing, explosive speed. We know he's one of the fastest guys on the team, and that is saying a lot. And, great agility on a huge 43-yard touchdown run where, once again, hit the hole, and then there was no stopping him. Meanwhile, young wide receiver Jalen Waddle really stepped up, demonstrated some more potential and upside, hauling in 4 out of 6 targets for an impressive 86 yards, proving to be just a reliable and dynamic receiving threat throughout this Dolphins offense. And despite being a primary focus for opposing defenders, Tyreek Hill managed to maintain his productivity, grabbing 5 passes for 40 yards and capping it off with a touchdown as well. But together, these skill players, painted a great picture for this Dolphins offense, and the fans, everyone around the NFL is excited to see just how good they can be. Now, the Miami Dolphins offense is sending a message to all defenses around the NFL, and thanks to their scary potential, with a roster brimming with elite speedsters like Mostert and Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, all of these guys possess the ability to basically just strike fear into their opponent, and it's going to make the defensive strategy, the schematics for defensive coordinators, it's going to make their days and their nights living hells trying to game plan against this group of players. And it already seems like the connection between not only Tua and Tyreek Hill, but Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert and, Durham Smythe and Braxton, the chemistry seems amazing right now. And when these elements start to align and when they really start to reach their full potential, you're going to see a ton of explosive plays and the points are going to start to rack up, and it's going to happen at a pace where the NFL is in shock. They're not going to really know how to stop this team. However, with that being said, the defense also has elite potential as well. Before we jump into that though, I need you guys to do me a huge favor. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you want some more Dolphins content for the rest of the season. I'm also going to be live streaming some Dolphins games as well. And lastly, before we get into the video, make sure you guys go check out Underdog Fantasy. They have this game of higher and lower, and I play it truly every single week. Like, I put in like 14, 15 different cards every single week, and I'm definitely going to be doing it for this Miami Dolphins and Denver Broncos game as well. So if you guys want to sign up, use my promo code in the description. They will match your first deposit up to $100, plus they give you easy squares when you use my promo code. For example, they might have one, or the other day they had one, Tyreek Hill over half a yard. Easy money. All you have to do is pair it up with something else that's going to hit, and they're going to have a lot more coming out over the next few days. Before Thursday Night Football, I'm doing George Kittle over 42.5 receiving yards. Giants do tend to allow, some tight end targets, or more tight end targets than usual. And then Brandon Ayuk's also questionable, and I'm going to go Daniel Jones over completions compared to Brock Purdy, just because of game script. But let me know what you guys would do. Hit the like button, subscribe, but let's get back into the video. And it all started with Dolphins defensive end Bradley Chubb. He was a force against the Patriots, which Miami very much needed, with Jalen Phillips out with the back injury that had him as a game time decision, did not end up playing, but Bradley Chubb was huge. He ended the night with the forced fumble, 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss, 8 combined tackles. But overall, defensively, Miami recovered, a Douglas fumble, then leading 17-3 in the third quarter. Dolphins cornerback Xavier Howard grabbed an underthrown pass from Mac Jones that was intended for Devontae Parker inside the 5-yard line, and the Patriots just had no answer. Even when they drove down the field, they wouldn't be able to punch it in until it was too late. But overall, this defense is showing tremendous upside, all over the field. I think they do have some room to improve, especially on the rushing side of things. They're allowing about 4.9 yards per rush, which is 27th worst in the NFL. They're also allowing 160 rush yards per game, which is 28th worst in the NFL. So they do have some areas where they need to improve on. But I think with the offense being as good as they are, it is going to leave their defense in a much better position to stop opposing offenses. So let me know what you guys think the Dolphins need to do next in order to, keep winning games, keep shocking the NFL, and continue just putting on some electrifying shows going forward, whether that's if they need to get their run game more involved. They do rank 12th in terms of yards per rush and 16th in terms of rush yards per game. But the passing offense is where everything is stemming from. That is where they're the best, and that is where they're going to continue to strive, especially with the chemistry that they've built.